Hey, everybody, you're going to want to listen all the way through this episode because we have got a film from 40 years ago that's making its way to the musical stage.
We're also going to find out why Mariah Carey is feeling so darn good these days. And yes, it has everything to do with Christmas. Enjoy the show, everyone. So I'll count us down. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1.
Well, hey, you guys, how you holding up? Good?
Are you trying to give us
Countdown's
a pep,
on.
you trying to give us a pep talk because it's December and I haven't bought one gift yet?
Yes, it's like I'm talking to myself in a mirror, but it's you and blonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure we're not the only people who, think they have it all together and then realize, oh no, it's not happened at all.
Yeah, I have
So,
not. It's well, we'll give up the bag here in the fact that we're recording this on the 10th of December.
yep.
Not one gift have I purchased. Not one.
I've had complete thoughts about what I have to do, which in my mind, feels like enough.
Yeah, okay.
But it's obviously not enough since there will be
Yeah.
more action required on my part. I'll
Yeah.
get to it.
Yeah.
But for today, you know what? We're going to talk about the real reason that Chris Rock walked off stage mid-show. Talk about some of the rumors that were swirling also. We've got another movie going to Broadway. Uh, Broadway hands right there for those watching. Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, Kelly's trivia might have you reaching for the eggnog to ease the brain pull that's coming your way.
Welcome.
She said as if she needed some too. Your 90s rewind will take us back to around this time in 1977. And as we remember, there was quite a lot going on at that time. And Beyonce has been named the number one pop star of the 21st century.
Hmm.
So let's start there.
Beyonce.
That's a big statement, man.
Yeah. Did
Of
you?
the 21st century.
Yeah. Did you read the line that Billboard put out like as part of their statement? I think it was in, I don't know if it was in the article I sent you, but I actually talked about it on the air and it was quite the sentence. Like it was
Yeah,
like this is the bar and she has said it and like of which other people will be measured. Like it was quite the
it's something. And you know what? To be honest, I read it when was that? A week or so ago, I think the news came out.
Mhm.
And I thought, wow, that's bold when you think, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not unwarranted. She's a giant, right? I find it interesting that at this time, when you think of all the other things that are going on, and I'm not trying to pit one against the other, certainly not, but I think of Taylor Swift. I don't know that Beyonce has the same uh drawing power to affect an economy.
She does.
Do you know Beyonce has the same as Taylor in that
Called it-
regard?
They called it the Beyonce bump when she was on her last tour.
Okay. Well, then good for them. And could it not have been a tie?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what? That sounds like a very 21st century thing to say.
Mm.
Let's give everybody a participation medal.
Yep.
I'm not taking it away from Beyonce because
Yep.
in my estimation, over the course of the last 25 years, I
Mm.
can sum it up as Beyonce gets it. She has lived the life. She's gone through all the things that she's supposed to go through.
Yep.
I mean, she's done that as a superstar.
Mhm.
Um, but when it comes to her art and how she relates to her fans through her music, Beyonce gets it. I'm going to get shirts made that just say that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to include the F word in it because it's not just that she gets it, but she flipping gets it.
Yep. Yeah.
So good on her.
I think maybe why she got it, or like one of the reasons why maybe over Taylor is she's been doing it longer.
Yeah,
So she's literally been doing it so far the entire 21st century.
that's true.
Taylor came to us in what, 09-ish, maybe 08. Like, I mean, maybe we'll say country single, who knows when that, like 2006 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But Beyonce's been at this since the 90s. So,
My friends and I went to Las Vegas for our 40th birthday extravaganza,
Mhm.
which was 16 years ago.
Bananas.
And at that time, there was a special, like a showcase happening in this. We stayed at the MGM Grand, which was that grand. Um, like almost 2 grand. It's gigantic. But there was a little showcase happening off of one of the pools, which I'm sure was a big enough room. We weren't invited, so we didn't get in, but it was Taylor Swift
Oh wow,
at 16 years ago.
crazy.
So, and we had heard, oh, it's this kid named Taylor Swift, and she's doing a thing. And so she was a kid then. So, yeah, Beyonce was already
Yeah.
dominating whatever she was doing at that time, too. So,
Beyonce was what was it 97, 98 when Destiny's Child first emerged? 96?
yep.
98.
90, wasn't it 98?
Yeah, I think it was 98. Yeah. So,
And if you got it wrong, I would have said, no, 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 no.
anyways, but she's been at it for and I think too, like as soon as first of all, she and the girls were like it mode in the 90's.
Yep.
And then, like Survivor came out in what was it, 2001? And like Bootylicious, like just all that stuff. And then 2003 was crazy, like crazy sex, not crazy, crazy in love.
Crazy in Love, yeah, with
Solo
Jay-Z.
was 2003. So she's been at it a minute, that girl.
I found the description of what you were talking about, the pow factor that they wrote about um, why they selected Beyonce, and they said the reasons why Beyonce captured the top spot on our list were beyond numerous, ranging from her 25 years of timeless albums and singles to her incalculable industry impact and influence on other artists to her peerless raw talents as a singer and performer. But perhaps the most important of all was her singular ability to create moments, indelible pieces of pop culture history that she has generated over the course of her quarter century of superstardom, which are first and foremost all quintessentially Beyonce.
Yeah.
Gosh, that must have felt like they needed a cigarette after writing that paragraph.
Yeah.
Like, my goodness, that was
I
good.
actually tried to read the statement on my show, and I say read but I actually reworded the sentence to make it friendly for air because I'm like, this is too epic to
Yeah.
even be said on the air. So I actually flipped a few things around, but I'm like, in the end, she's just the best. So let's just go
Yeah.
with that. So yeah.
She's Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beyond Beyonce.
And I think too, what's interesting, well, there's many things that's interesting about Beyonce, but like she literally now, and has probably been the last even 15 years at this point, she can literally do her thing and go away and not
Yeah.
be seen for months. Like when do you like apart from I almost sent you a story today in the fact that she like there was actual like live footage of Beyonce um because she was out at the Mufasa premiere or something last night, and Blue Ivy has a like vocal role in that story or in
Mm-hmm.
that movie. And so, but it was like proof of life that Beyonce's because like I can't tell you the last time I saw Beyonce like physically like at something. Like it's been months. So,
That's one of I think the recurring things of this podcast. Since we started, we talked about the artists that feel they have to make an announcement of retirement.
mhm,
And at the time, at the beginning of this podcast, we had pointed to Celine, I think,
possibly.
right? Making a point of saying she was retiring. Certainly now, I mean, it's not the case. She's dealing with health issues and she probably more than ever does not want to be retired. But the point is, or the point that I thought I continually try to make is that you don't need to retire.
Mhm,
You don't, unless you're getting to the point where you're retiring from touring, then that's a promotional tool to make sure that your shows are selling out.
right.
You're not going to get a chance to see this again, so you may want to buy your tickets, that kind of thing. And it works. And you need to say that because I'm not even sure why anymore, because I think everything seems to be a moment when it comes to tours.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you can be Beyonce. My example coming from the rock world has always been Peter Gabriel because he goes away and then he comes back,
Yep.
blows your mind, goes away again. And it's not like he's going away and, binging on Netflix or something. He's going away and he's living his life and he's creating and he's doing other things. And it feeds your next project that you're going to release as the artist that you are.
Yep.
And fans are ready for it.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what Beyonce's done is she's selected her moments and she's managed to live her life
Yeah.
and she's managed to sort of within that living of her life there have been some bumps and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, and sometimes they're public when you don't want them to be. She's handled it and always managed to come out with love on top.
Yeah. Good. Oh, good job. Good job,
Thank
Sharon.
you. Thank you very much.
Good
Even my little shadow here who's on my lap looked at me like that was good.
job.
So I'll take it.
We have nowhere to go else but now with trivia, really. So,
Well, you know what? I want to plant one little seed about
yes.
another one of the greats of our time, which is Whitney Houston.
Yep.
That her concert in Africa is 30 years old now.
Crazy.
I saw Pat Houston talking with Jennifer Hudson.
Okay.
Actually, it was Pat Houston and Whitney's musical director, Ricky Minor.
Oh, wow. Okay. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Both of them together talking about the great that is Whitney Houston, but talking about how it's been 30 years since we've seen this concert and they're re-releasing it to stream on PBS.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so there's a little seed. This is starting off 90s now for this week, very strong with a 1-2 punch of Beyonce and Whitney.
Can I give the third punch?
Oh, sucker punches, Cal. Give it to
Oh,
us.
because actually, you and I didn't have a chance to talk about this because I just saw this. So this is good news again. As of our recording today, Mariah Carey just found out, I guess it was last night at her concert in North Carolina, that All I Want for Christmas Is You has gone back to number one on the Billboard Hot 100 for 2024. So
Boom.
yeah.
Of course it did. Good for her. That makes me
Yeah.
happy.
And just a quick thing too, our colleague, who I'm good buddies with down the hall at
Yes.
my station, Mr. Mike, he went to go see her in Boston, Mariah.
Yeah.
And he said, and it's so funny because he and I both have an understanding because I said, "Did you go by yourself?" He's like, "Oh, yes." And I said,
Yeah.
I understand that because like you don't want people to wreck your, And so
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, he's like I met some other amazing like Mariah fans, and he's like, I had the best time. And so because you and I were both at her concert here in Montreal last year, and I said
Yeah.
he obviously was as well. And I said, was there any change from last year to this year? And he's like, yeah, they moved the set list around. There's a few things. And he said, but she was still doing her thing. She still needed that guy to like haul her around the stage so that she doesn't topple on her 6-inch platform
Oh
heels.
my gosh, it's crazy.
And she brought the kids out again. So I thought that was great. But so now they're a year older and they're doing their thing. And it's honestly like she is Queen of Christmas. She's cool.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Queen of Trivia, give it to us.
You're welcome. Here we are.
Let's do it.
So Sharon, which I told you last week was the first time ever that the cards actually finished together at the same time, which never happened.
Yes.
So we're now starting two new cards at the same time. So you can make your decision if we start with news and politics or pop culture.
Ooh, I'll go news and politics and hope
All
for the
right,
best with the other one.
here we go. I don't even know how to say this word, so I'm assuming it's a
Great.
Eritrea, apparently is a country.
Hmm.
Gained independence from which country in 1993?
Libya.
Ooh,
Okay, Ghana.
mm, Ethiopia.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Eritrea. I'm hoping I am even saying that correctly.
Well, maybe once it left Ethiopia, we were like, we lost touch.
Yeah, that's more
Maybe.
than enough. Um, so pop culture, Zubaz was a popular brand of what type of clothing?
Pants.
Go girl.
Boom.
Good job, Sharon.
Those are those like all the football players wore them, right?
I think so.
And I think Sammy Hagar had a lot of them.
Oh yeah, 'cause they have all the little like the leopard kind of thing.
Yeah, the patterns and stuff. And basically they were, you know, elastic waist, elastic around the ankles. It left for some freedom in the middle. Not quite the hammer pants that we know and loved that started our favorite decade,
Too much, too much.
but enough comfort to make sure that everything was loose where it needed to be.
Are
Eh,
we Lenny?
we could revisit little peekaboo Lenny if we wanted to, Kel, but we don't have to also.
Okay, thank you. That's
I'm
my
happy.
gift.
Your Christmas gift. Peekaboo. Hey, Chris Rock has been making the news lately for walking off stage mid-show, and the real reason is not the rumors, not that he was mad at anybody, not that there was kids in the audience, not that whatever. It was because someone broke the rule of filming in his concert.
Oopsie.
Oopsie doops. And he has said that, he's not the first person to ban that activity
Mm,
at shows, whether it's a comedian or a musician.
mm.
Um, but he has said that he prefers his sets to be phone free so that guests can live in the moment.
Yep.
What a novel idea. Also, there is the risk that, if they do take a snip of something he's done and then they post it to social media, the internet, whatever, it's taken out of context and it looks like he said something that he didn't say, which is what everybody seems to be running the risk of, like the freedom of uh, sending or liking or sharing or whatever,
Mm,
and it's totally out of context. You can manipulate it to be anything. So, um, I thought it was interesting that he hadn't employed one of those zip cases or those things that lock. You put your phone in, you get to hold it, but it's locked until you leave. Where I went to see John Mulaney here in Montreal a year and a half ago or so, and that was the case. Y'all had your little thing, and you couldn't take pictures, and you couldn't whatever. I like that because you still have your phone, and you just have to give the thing back at the end.
yeah.
Um,
What happens if there's an emergency?
then you leave. How are you going to know there's an emergency? You mean like your
Yeah,
phone?
like what happens if your phone rings and it's like somebody's like, grandma's sick or whatever, and like,
Well, I think if grandma gets sick suddenly, then that's a different issue. But if she's been ailing for a while, then should you have gone to the show? It's more about your decisions. But it is
anyways,
funny though. I know that you're not the only person to question someone, putting a lock on your phone in that way. But
yeah.
we're talking about an hour.
Yeah, no, like I would really have no problem with it, but it's just like yeah, like that would strike me like what happens if grandma's ill and you need to you need to jet.
I guess you leave. You have or you can see it on your watch.
Oh yeah, there's that.
See it coming that way. Go, oh my gosh, grandma's ill. I gotta dash. That's how you talk when you're running in slow motion.
Yeah, exactly.
I've gotta go.
Anyway, back to you.
Anyway, I hope everybody's grandparents are healthy and fine. We've been talking, knock wood, all the things. Right, Chad? Okay, so 40 years later, the movie that's going to Broadway is Purple Rain.
Crazy business.
How has it taken 40 years? First of all,
Mm,
this is a soundtrack that, gosh, has been like so revisitable
yep.
because of its timelessness,
Yep.
because of its nostalgia at the same time.
Mm,
Anybody that saw the movie like in 1984 or loved the soundtrack throughout that whole year, um, like it's just one of those things. Like you love it, but only now is it getting reworked.
I know.
Like when you think of Rock of Ages or um, School of Rock, that kind of stuff. Those things they flip pretty quickly to get to the stage, which is, I mean, it's great. I just think it's interesting, and I also think it will apply an extra amount of pressure to taking the soundtrack, to taking the story that is the movie, and bringing it to the stage.
Hmm.
I think we know that the soundtrack itself sold 25 million copies so far.
Crazy.
24 weeks at number one. 24. Two Grammys and Academy Award for a song score. I mean, we're talking about Prince, so we know that quality is super high. And
Yeah.
I think it's also interesting that they're going to premiere this show on stage in Minneapolis. So
Mm.
it's not going to be hard enough for you people. But the first audience you're going to show it to is his hometown.
Yeah.
Break a leg.
They better bring their A game. And by the way, like speaking of Prince, we never talked about it, but like his sister passed away recently.
Oh,
The one who was actually in the
yes.
news after he passed, like, cause she was, I think, taking care of a lot of things.
Right.
Taika, I think, is that?
Yeah.
I think it's Tyka. Anyways, she passed away like at 64.
So who is minding his business?
I don't know because I think he has like some is it half siblings or something? There might, I don't know. But anyways, I was very shocked when this was maybe a month ago now, maybe a bit longer. And I can't remember why we didn't talk about it. Maybe it was like at a point where we didn't discuss it, but I
It
remember
was
just
at the beginning of November.
oh, there you go. So it's not even so a month ago. Yeah. It's
Wow.
Tyka, right? It's Tyki, a Ka.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Because yeah,
Huh.
I really don't know who is minding the store at this point. But it's also too like with Michael Jackson, for example, like the people in his estate, it's the two people that are not even related. It's I think John McClane is still handling it and somebody else.
Okay.
So it's not oh, by the way, I saw a picture recently of Katherine Jackson, who must be 90, whatever she is. I think mine, I want to say 93.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks as beautiful as ever. And they had
Oh,
a
that is nice.
it was Latoya, I think, who posted it on her Instagram because they were together, I think, for I think they called it Family Day because that's remember that was like a thing for them as Family Day, but
Mm-hmm.
that would have been around American Thanksgiving.
Oh, good. Well, that's a good recall on a grandma who's got good health.
Yep. My grandma's turning 101 in a few weeks.
That's incredible.
Yep.
Hey, sidebar, there was a show on in the 80s called That's Incredible.
Was there?
Late 70s, early 80s.
Oh, late 70s, I was like 3.
And you know what has it was shows like it was, a dog that could walk or something over there, or this person could actually swallow knives. And I mean, it was, but like times 100. It was, and especially for the time. And now what we have instead is the internet.
Yeah,
So,
there's that.
and a glaring lack of incredible a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
um, so dates wise for the Prince thing, by the way, just to circle back to Purple Rain, making it to the stage as a musical, is that the premiere will happen in Minneapolis in the spring.
Oh, so soon.
Yes, quite soon, and no other details.
Who's
So
gonna play?
that's typical,
Yeah.
right? Like Prince was pretty close to the chest when it came to information, too. So I think that's good. Who's going to play Prince?
Yeah, who's gonna be Prince?
You ask a good question.
It needs to be somebody who can walk in a heeled boot. Lenny Kravitz?
It's got to be someone who can walk in well, heeled boot. I think someone and someone that can sing that doesn't sound too Broadway.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow, they might need more time. Or maybe it's just us. We need more time to absorb what we're
Yeah.
learning. Are you ready for your 90s rewind?
I'm ready, Sharon.
Well, we're going back, Kelly, to 1997.
Good year.
Boom. Mm. Think of Sunny Came Home. I haven't thought about Sean Colvin in a while, so it's nice to see her name on my screen. The fact that she was singing about someone who basically torched somebody's house, she made it sound nice.
Infected.
Made it sound like an option. Do you know? And Cal, while the Spice Girls were making their way up the chart with Colors of the World, Spice Up Your Life,
Yep. Yep.
another one of theirs was making its way out of the top 40. And that's when two become one. Throwback to a few years ago.
A lot.
Kelly's blushing, I think, now. Anybody that's watching us on YouTube is seeing that. Anybody that isn't, you're more than welcome to, but I just did a hand gesture. That's relatively safe. It's just because two become one.
It's more when you did this thing. Like, I don't know. It's a lot.
That, or wait, here's one. Whoop, whoop,
Oh,
whoop,
yeah.
whoop, whoop,
See,
whoop, whoop. That one.
so anybody who's listening to this right now, we have a lot of Brazilians that listen to our show. They might want to tune into the YouTube version just for this episode because
Yeah. Anyone that's listening, I'm not having an episode. Boop, boop, boop. I'm just making some sound effects that go along with my hand gestures, which is great for a podcast. I get it. Anyways, two become one from the Spice Girls. Nice to think about that. Hey, how's it going to be, Kel? Third Eye Blind.
Oh, third. Okay, right.
At the same time, again, this is another flip of the directions. Femi Charm Life was coming down the charts while How's It Gonna Be was going up. So how's it gonna be following a song that talked about, cocaine use? Do 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 do. Anywho, how about Missy Misdemeanor Elliott? Boom. Was that a highlight from your 2024?
Highlight. I wish the tour was still going, but she's gonna be at is it Coachella? I think it's Coachella. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
We
So
should go.
we should go. We have a lot to do. We have motorcycling to do. We have to go see Gladiator. I'm still trying to figure out when we can see that movie together. maybe when you're on vacation. And
Yes,
because it should be still in the movie theaters for the Christmas business.
I
So,
hope so. Okay, we'll talk about that. And Elton John, Candle in the Wind,
oh yeah.
1997 version of that ended up doing such great things, and ultimately paying tribute to Princess Diana.
Mhm.
That was B-sided with Something About the Way You Look Tonight, which incredible. So Elton John was at number one again this week with Candle in the Wind. And our best to Elton John also, who's been dealing with some significant health issues when it comes to his eyes, loss of vision in one and partial in the other. But I heard audio from him this week that he sounded like, I mean, he said he was hopeful and optimistic that they're going to be able to cure what I think seems to be a virus of some kind.
Okay. Okay.
But he sounded good. Also, he had done a show, like he performed. He can't read, he can't see, like he can't see enough to do those things, but he's Elton John. He's been playing his songs for 50 years at least. So playing seems to be something he can do and did do, because he basically did a full show. I think it was a private party, but a full show that opened with Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding, which is a masterpiece, and closed with Your Song, but also filled the middle parts with hit after hit after hit. So maybe that's why he's optimistic.
He's just so cool, Elton. Like,
Yeah. The only thing he was sort of sad about, I think, was that he wasn't able to actually attend the premiere of the Broadway version of The Devil Wears Prada.
oh right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's another movie making it to the stage long before Purple Rain did.
Yeah.
Hey, so that's your 90s rewind, by the way. Happy trails back to 1997.
Good job. And because you mentioned Spice Girls, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Mel B, Scary Spice. Um, it popped up on my Instagram, I want to say a couple days ago, that one of her team, I guess, took video of her. I don't know what event she was at, but she had fans waiting for her like after. So I don't know if
Mm-hmm.
she'd sang somewhere and then, but because she was actually in her track pants after, like, and she went out to meet fans and she was just amazing with them, like so
Nice.
amazing. And then there had been comments on that, like, in the Instagram, and so many people wrote, I've had a chance to meet her. She's literally lovely. She's so sweet. She's so kind. Like, she's a true treasure. Like, just all these fans that have met her at some point. And I
Yeah.
just thought like she deserved a shout out because, she has such a good energy. And I think especially with all the work that she does now for women who have had to go through challenging times with abuse, like
Mm-hmm.
she's just so on that. And I just think it's great. And just to see these fans like going bananas, she's hugging them, she's signing autographs, like it was just really great. And I just wanted to give her a shout out for that. So
Well, she deserves it.
yeah.
Well done, Kel. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah, it's good when people spread the positivity in the world. So
Yeah, well, we should commit to doing more of that. That should be one of
yeah.
um our goals for 2025.
I can't believe it's 2025.
I know it sounds super futuristic to me.
Yep, it does. Yeah.
And honestly, 2024, there was a lot of it that was not good for me. So I'm very optimistic, or trying to be, for 2025. So
Yeah.
that said, I mean, it's early. We still got some shows to do before the end of this year, but thank you and thank everybody for being an active part of it being better for me.
Well, Sharon, we are lucky to have you in our lives. You're super funny. We love you to bits, and you do great hand gestures. So
Let's revisit,
no,
shall
let's
we?
not.
Put your hands like this, put your fingers down, and do that. Dee, 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 dee.
Too much, too much, too much.
Come on. That doesn't even look like anything bad. That's a trick you learn in grade 4.
What even is it?
This one's worse.
Yeah, that one. Yeah,
That's gonna get a blue dot on
yeah,
the
that's good.
video.
You might take that down. Anyways,
Well, thanks everybody once again for picking us and sticking with us. We appreciate it. For taking us along with you wherever it is that you fit us into your day. We truly appreciate it. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for listening to 90s Now, still happening.